And welcome to Dr. Marketing Tips. I am Jennifer, and I am one of the founders here at Dr. Marketing Tips and Insight Marketing Group. We have been working with medical practices just like yours exclusively since 2006, providing full service marketing solutions to independent physicians groups. And we work with anybody from single provider offices to offices that are upward of 25 providers with multiple locations all over the United States. Large concentration in the state of Florida. We have some clients up in New Jersey, and we've also gone out as far west as the state of Arizona doing one-on-one marketing. What we've done is put together an online reputation management subscription service, which provides kind of the day-to-day elements that we find necessary when working with our clients for helping to maintain and manage their online reputation. Now, our brand new affordable solution that we created just for practices like yours includes kind of the gamut of online reputation, but really just the basics, which is one, notifications on any new reviews that might pop up from a patient or a potential patient. A process that we put in place to immediately respond to those reviews, especially the negative reviews. We will manually go in and claim your profiles for your physicians at your practice to make sure that the information is current and that you have all of your login credentials in a single place, making it easy for you down the road should you want to do this yourself or should you be happy with the subscription service that we provide. We will go in and beef up your listings on the top reputation management sites, and I'll give you an example of that in just a moment. And then we will, for the subscription service, provide you with detailed monthly reports of everything that's being said about your practice, how you're ranking as a practice as a whole, and what's being done to respond to anything that's out there. And we'll even go as far as working with the top three, the Healthgrades, the RateMDs, the Vitals, to have negative reviews where you're disputing those negative reviews removed from your profile. And we've got some pretty affordable pricing that we've put together working with your organization. And it's anywhere from $80 a month for a single provider office on a 3-month agreement to as low as $50 a month for a larger practice on an annual agreement. So this should be an affordable solution that you should be able to take full advantage of, and no longer is there an excuse for not making sure that this data about your practice or about your providers is current and being managed on a regular basis. So Warren Buffett says it best. He says, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and it takes 5 minutes to ruin it. And this is a quote that we've all, we've seen Warren Buffett say it before, but I would even go as far as it could take 30 seconds to ruin a reputation online with the way that technology works today. So today there are more than 100 different websites out there that you may have a profile listed already about your individual providers or about your practice. And the top three are still Healthgrades, Vitals, and RateMDs, but those are just the tip of the iceberg. Those are the ones that still show up best in search, but you really need to pay attention to Yelp and to Google. Yelp has recently been listed as the #1 fastest online review site out there, #1 fastest growing. And anything on Google impacts your search listings and your organic search on Google as well. And Yelp, just a couple of months ago, signed a national deal where they're going to start providing reviews in a very structured capacity for all of the urgent care facilities, walk-in clinics, and large hospital systems throughout the country. So really start paying attention to Yelp and to Google. But part of our online reputation management monitoring service includes making sure that you are as best as you can be on Healthgrades, Vitals, RateMDs, and then we're going to track what's going on with Yelp and Google for you as well. Your profiles require daily monitoring of what people are being said. Years ago, I would have told you that you can go and set up a Google alert for your practice, but Google alerts will not show up. They won't list out kind of what people are saying. Like if a patient goes online to Vitals and leaves a negative review, your Google alert isn't going to show that depth of information on there. So it's really important that you are either out there with a service like this, or you have somebody dedicated that all they're doing is watching these websites to see what's being said. And if you're going to respond to something negative that's out there, it's critical that you do it in about 24 to 48 hours. But you should have a game plan of what you're going to do. And part of this subscription service, we do it all for you. So on the left here is what is known as a claimed profile versus on the right, an unclaimed profile. Currently out there right now, if you haven't gone out and claimed your profiles, chances are on Healthgrades, this is what your profile looks like on the right. Part of this reputation management service that we're providing to you is to go in and make it look more like the one on the left. This means that we're going to take your NPI number, your CV, procedures, common treatments that you offer at your practice, your headshot, and we're going to get all the information on there accurately, and we're going to verify it's correct with you. And when a potential patient is looking up a ENT doctor in your area, and if you're an ENT doctor, you're going to pop up, and compared to another ENT who maybe doesn't claim his profile, you're going to get the benefit of having all of your information correct and in a way that is very user friendly. We're going to monitor not only everything that's being said about you, but when something negative pops up, we're going to help you put together a plan for responding in a timely manner. And we're going to do that because we're going to work directly with you to have a series of kind of canned responses ready to go. I don't mean that everybody's going to get the same response with a negative review. In fact, what we typically will do is have 3 to 5, maybe 7 canned response per provider. And we work with a lot of practices. And so sometimes what we'll do, let's say, for example, that we get a negative review on a doctor, let's call him Dr. Jones. And Dr. Jones gets a negative review, and he has a team that works very closely with him. And Carla kind of is his kind of coordinator. We'll have a canned review response ready to go that says, thanks for sharing about your experience with Dr. Jones. Please contact Carla at XYZ phone number and share the details of your experience with her. And this is something that we have ready to go so that the minute something negative pops up, we've already worked with you and we can go on there and review it. Here's an example just of how this works. So for example, you've got the review at the top where the stars are, and that is the negative review that somebody left. And here is a response that we have put together for a doctor, and it acknowledges that somebody had a negative experience. It doesn't accept blame, and it gives them a phone number that they can contact. Don't be too worried that people are going to pick up the phone and you're going to have to start dealing with extra phone calls, because 9 times out of 10 people do not respond. They won't take that next step to picking up the phone and calling your office. What this does is it shows somebody else that might be watching and looking for, hiring a new doctor. This response shows them that you actually care. And there really is no truly automated option. You have to work with a human being to go into these websites. Once your profiles are claimed, you can go on and you can respond to these negative reviews. And that's what we're doing for you through the subscription service. It's important to understand the difference between a private and a public review. Sometimes on Facebook, for example, you might get a patient that reaches out to you privately, and you can solve a problem in a private way. Public reviews are the Healthgrades and the Vitals and the RateMDs, and it's important to understand that, because anything you do or say or anything that somebody else does or says is going to be out there publicly for everybody. Now, all of these different sites have different policies and procedures in place for trying to remove negative reviews, but sometimes they will let you remove a negative review. Let's say you can prove it wasn't a patient, or that the patient's completely wrong, and yeah, they came into your office, but it was back in January, not in July, like they're saying. Some of them have some very clear rules for disputing reviews, and we will work with your office to go ahead and dispute the ones that make sense. Some of them also only let you have maybe one time you can dispute it and have it taken down, or maybe 3 or 4 times, but that's for the life of the entire of your profile on that site. So you need to pick and choose disputing reviews very carefully, and it's important to work with somebody that has a relationship with these websites to help you get to the right person fast so you can get these things taken down. It's critical that when we're responding to negative reviews that you've got all your facts together if you're going to respond and try to dispute something negative. So part of what we will do for you is make sure that all of your critical information is correct online. This includes your address, your telephone number, photos, for example. Here is an ophthalmology practice that this is their Google review. Their address is current, their phone number is current, their hours of operation are current, and these reviews just underneath here are tied directly to that office. And so people are going to be reviewing you whether you're asking for those reviews or not. So it's really important that you have all of your information correct. It's also important that each of your office locations has an individual listing. Let's say you have 5 offices. You don't want one listing on Google. You want 5 different listings. And this is the type of thing we're going to work with you to make sure that's correct. It's also important that you have a page listed for each of your doctors. In fact, on Google, you're going to get, let's say you have 5 locations and you have 10 doctors. You're going to have 5 pages created on Google, plus you're going to have 10 pages per doctor. Plus you're going to have a general practice review page as well. And you might say, well, I don't want all these, I just want 1 or 2. It's out of your hands. And that's because your patients or people visiting your office have somewhere along the way created these profiles for you. And so the profiles have incomplete information, or maybe it's inaccurate information, or heaven's hopes that you never, change locations, because then you have to go through a process to getting your address information updated and correct. And it's just can sometimes be a nightmare. That's why hiring someone like us, whether it's us or another service, to monitor this information and just so you have a point of contact when you do need to have something corrected. That's why it's so important to do that. Nothing says we don't care like the wrong address, and it's so frustrating for patients. I use this one as an example. It's somebody in my family recently needed to go visit this type of doctor, and it's a gastrointestinal doctor. And I know these guys pretty well, so I went on my phone real quick and I searched their name, and their address popped open, and it said that it had been permanently closed. And we're seeing this sometimes with some of our accounts with some of the physician groups that we work with, and it's showing permanently closed because it was an old listing, it hadn't been claimed, and Google itself just went through and shut down a lot of these. And so it's important to have your information be accurate along the way. These permanently closed on Google can lead to a loss of business for your practice, especially if you're like me and before your appointment, somebody's going online to get an address and bam, there it is, it's closed. So I just can't stress enough how important it is to keep your information current. And we do all that for you as part of this reputation management subscription service. And so just a really quick recap, we're going to go out there and we have a system in place that's going to notify us within 24 hours of anybody saying anything about you or about your practice. And immediately, if it's something negative, we are going to go out there and work with you to provide a response to a negative post. We're going to do that by coming up with some nice canned responses, but each and every time we have to go online to respond on your behalf, it's going to be a custom solution that is tailored specifically to that individual patient's kind of experience and what they left online about you. In order to go on and review and respond to those negative reviews, we have to go out there and claim your profile across all of these different websites, which means we have to work directly with you to get your MPI number and your headshot and your CVs. We're going to manually go out there and do this for you, and then we're going to monitor that information to make sure that it's correct all the time. Years ago, we worked with a large orthopedic practice who no longer was directly associated with the hospital group in town, and we went onto one of these large websites, one of the main 3, and found that our appointment line had been changed. So the phone number of the practice had been changed to the hospital scheduling line. And when you have your profiles claimed, you're able to quickly go in there and make changes to your profile should you need to. And it also helped that we have a relationship one-on-one with some of these top websites. So not only can we go in and claim profiles or make changes to a profile, but if we have a problem, we have somebody that we can go to help get the problem resolved. Then we're going to go in and make sure that you don't just have your profiles claimed, but all of your profiles are enhanced with your phone number, with your correct information, with your driving directions, with your headshot, with your specialties. These things, fortunately, it's easy to get your information up there, and they're pulled from these national MPI databases, the information is. But unfortunately, it's so easy because it's all algorithm based to have the wrong information show up. So one day, you could literally be there on a Monday and all your information is correct. And on Thursday, you go back to check your profile and the information can be changed. And it's so frustrating because it's very time intensive, the process for making sure that all this stuff stays correct. And it's so important because your patients are out there and they're going online to find information about you and about your practice. So what we do is we monitor anything and everything that might change along the way. And finally, for the solution that we're offering you, we're going to provide you monthly reports, which are going to give you a 40,000 foot in the sky, top level understanding of where you stand online, anything that's being said about you, and what's being done to remedy what's being said. So with that, I'm going to give you the opportunity to go ahead and get started today. Like I said earlier, this is an affordable solution. It has been set up specifically so that whether you have one provider or 50 providers, that this can make sense in your online budget. And all you have to do is fill out the form, and either Corey or myself will get in touch with you in just a matter of hours. Thanks so much, and have a great day.